But what's different is like I came into this business in the transition between Moviola slash Steam Deck, but I was a Moviola guy, and the Lightworks, and so everything along the way, I always kind of adapted from the older school. Like when I set up the Lightworks, I set it up like a film project. When I had to work on a Final Cut Pro, I had them set it up like a Avid. I mean, I was always sort of chasing the technology as it was moving forward. Where somebody like Zach and somebody who goes to the Manhattan Edit Workshop, they learn this whole new this language that kind of developed around the making, the editing of films, which I never really had. It's sort of, I wouldn't say I was the equivalent of a Hunt and Peck typist, but I didn't have like that big picture of what today's Avid editors have. Yeah, so origin stories, is that where you
Well,
want to
that
talk about?
you made me think of something, which is the you know when you think about the work you're doing as an editor on a moviola, do you think that someone like Zach learning on something that is inherently faster, maybe more disposable than a physical edit that requires undoing and tracking bins, in a hamper, like is that process inherently the same exact thing if you think about it that way, or is the way that editors today are coming up with different tools going to, do you think it changes the way they approach their work?
Mm-hmm. I would say nonlinear editing was the best thing that ever happened to me because it was more in the way I thought about things. I'd like when I would cut a scene, I actually would like starting in the middle and moving out of the scene, like getting to the most, rather than sort of backing myself into a corner of a scene as I was moving from the beginning to the end. I would try to find the essence of the scene first and then kind of build back out from that. And nonlinear editing really helped in that. I used this quote earlier today. It's from John Wooden. He said, "Hurry up, but don't rush." Um, so speed can be your friend, and it can be it can work against you as well. But so, like, remember there used to be a thing where you could go into a mix studio and you could get the half-hour mix, the 1 hour mix, the 2 hour mix, depending on like what degree of time that you had or money that you had to spend. Yeah, I don't know. I was much faster, I think, before I had so many choices. I think I was in some ways faster on a Moviola than I was on an Avid.